Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, January 7th, 2021. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's NBA and college basketball games and look ahead to today's games in each sport. I'll do my NHL left wing rankings, my recap of the Masked Dancer, and my best bet of the day. All right, we'll start in the NBA, where the league had 11 games last night, some interesting results, and we'll look ahead to a short slate for tonight. Pacers over the Rockets, 114-107. Indiana 6-2, Houston 2-4. Malcolm Brogdon had a career-high 35 points and 7 assists. John Wall had 28 for Houston. Magic over the Cavaliers, 105-94. The Magic 6-2, Cleveland 4-4. Terrence Ross had 20 to lead Orlando. Colin Sexton had 21 for the Cavaliers. 76ers over the Wizards, 141-136. Philly 7-1, Washington 2-6. Joel Embiid had 38 points, 8 boards. But the big story, Bradley Beal, 60 points, 20 of 35 shooting. What a game for Bradley Beal, but in defeat, unfortunately. This guy's had a couple 50-point games in his career, and I think he's one of the more underrated superstars in the game. It's just unfortunate that 60 points couldn't be enough for a win for Bradley Beal and the Wizards. Hornets over the Hawks, 102-94. The Hornets 3-5. Atlanta 4-4. Gordon Hayward had 44 to lead the way for Charlotte. John Collins 23 for Atlanta. Celtics over the Heat, 107-105 on a game-winning putback by Peyton Pritchard. Boston 6-3, Miami 3-4. Jason Tatum had 27 points for the Celtics. Jimmy Butler had 28 with 8 boards. Knicks over the Jazz, 112-100. The Knicks continue to be what I think is the biggest surprise in the NBA this year. They're 5-3. Utah's 4-4. Julius Randle, 30 points and 16 boards, 7 assists. Jordan Clarkson had 19 for Utah. Bucks over the Pistons, 130-115. The Bucks are 4-3. The Pistons are 1-7. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 25 points for Milwaukee. Jeremy Grant had 31 with 10 boards for Detroit. Thunder over the Pelicans, 111-110. The Thunder 3-4. New Orleans 4-4. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 21 for OKC along with 9 assists. Zion Williamson had 29 for New Orleans. Suns over the Raptors, 123-115. Best bet comes through. Phoenix 6-2. Toronto 1-6. Devin Booker 24 points for Phoenix. Pascal Siakam 32 points and 9 boards for Toronto. Clippers over the Warriors, 108-101. The Clippers are 6-3. Golden State 4-4. Paul George had 21 points for the Clips, and Eric Pascal led the Warriors in scoring last night with 19. Kings over the Bulls, 128-124. The Kings are 4-4, and Chicago 4-5. Rashawn Holmes led the Kings in scoring last night with 24. And Kobe White had 36 with 7 assists for Chicago. Only 5 games tonight, 7:30 TNT, 76ers Nets. Would have been a more sexy matchup if Kevin Durant wasn't in quarantine right now. My projection for this game is Philly by 11.5, total 226. With Durant, it's 5.5. FanDuel has it at Sixers 2.5, total 225. I'm going to lay it with the Sixers. I know they're in the second of a back-to-back, but the Nets still didn't have Kevin Durant. So give me Philadelphia minus the 2.5 at Brooklyn. Next up is the Cavaliers and the Grizzlies at 8 o'clock. My projection is Cavs by 5, total 213.5. Meanwhile, it is Memphis 4, total 210.5. I'm taking the Cavs plus 4 and plus 144 straight up. No John Morant for Memphis still. If John Morant was there, I'd project this as a pick'em. But the Grizzlies probably have a better record with John Morant. So once he comes back, I might have to do some adjustments here for the Grizzlies. But give me the Cavs plus 4 and plus 144 to win straight up. And plus, J.B. Bickerstaff used to coach the Grizzlies, and now he's the head coach of Cleveland. So you know he's going to be motivated tonight. 10 o'clock TNT, Mavericks Nuggets. My projection is Denver 4, total 223. If Michael Porter Jr. doesn't play, 2.5, the total of 223. Meanwhile, it is Denver 3, total 224.5. So, with Porter, 1 point edge. Without Porter, I have an edge on the Mavs, actually. But I like the under. The Mavericks offense, for whatever reason, I guess it's no Porzingis, it's just not living up to standards this season. So I like the under, although Denver's defense is abysmal. Timberwolves Blazers, my projection is Portland 4, total 230. Meanwhile, it's Portland 10, total 233. I am going to take Minnesota plus the points. No, Minnesota won't win. I just think that Karl-Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell will keep them in this game. Spurs-Lakers from Staples Center. My projection is Lakers 10.5, total 222.5. Without Aldridge, I'd make this Lakers 12.5. Without LeBron, I'm assuming LeBron's going to play, but if Aldridge plays, but LeBron doesn't, it'd be Lakers 4.5. But if Davis doesn't play, but Aldridge does, I'd make it 7.5. But the most likely player of note that's out for this game is Aldridge. Meanwhile, the Lakers are favored by 7.5. I'm laying it with the Lakers. I love that the Lakers are a short favorite. Anytime you get them as a short favorite, you got to jump on. So give me the Lakers minus 7.5 against the San Antonio Spurs for my last pick of the night in the NBA of those slate. Now we'll do college basketball. We'll go over the games from last night and look ahead to the games tonight. Tulsa over South Florida, 61-51. St. Bonaventure over St. Joe's, 83-57. Pitt over Syracuse, 63-60. Richmond over Rhode Island, 80-73. Louisville over number 19, Virginia Tech, 73-71. Number 9, Tennessee over Arkansas, 79-74. Butler over Georgetown, 63-55. VC over George Mason, 66-61. LSU over Georgia, 94-92 in overtime. Chattanooga over Stanford, 73-68. UNC Greensboro over Wofford, 84-75. Incarnate Word over Northwestern State, 75-67. Number 11, Houston over Wichita State, 70-63. Xavier over St. John's, 69-61. Abilene Christian over Houston Baptist, 66-63. Sam Houston State over Southeast Louisiana, 70-52. Central Arkansas over New Orleans, 83-79. Nichols over Lamar, 76-69. Number 10, Michigan over number 16, Minnesota, 82-57. Number 21, Duke over Boston College, 83-82. Number 2, Baylor over Oklahoma, 76-61. Number 7, Creighton over Seton Hall, 89-53. Number 22, Virginia over Wake Forest, 70-61. South Carolina over Texas A&M, 78-54. Ole Miss over Auburn, 72-61. Utah State over New Mexico, 77-45. And Boise State over Air Force, 78-59. All right, tonight's slate, 4 o'clock, Central Connecticut at Bryant. My projection for this game is Bryant by 10. Meanwhile, FanDuel has it at Bryant by 13.5. I'm going to say take Central Con State plus 13.5 at minus 104. Next up, you have number 17, Oregon at Colorado on Fox Sports 1. My projection here is Oregon by 13.5. Well, it's Oregon by 1.5. Colorado 1.5. Oh, this is your classic scenario of the home favorite, short number. Why are they favored and they win? My numbers say Oregon, so I'm taking Oregon plus 1.5 at minus 108 and plus 108 to win the game straight up. Northeastern Hofstra, my projection is Hofstra 7.5. Hofstra's favored by 4.5. I'm laying the 4.5 with Hofstra at minus 106. 7 o'clock on ESPN2, number 5, Iowa at Maryland. My projection is Iowa by 21. Meanwhile, Iowa is only favored by 6.5. Latest 6.5 with Iowa at minus 105. Indiana at number 8, Wisconsin on Fox Sports 1. My projection is Wisconsin 14. Wisconsin's favored by 7.5. With the latest 7.5 with Wisconsin at minus 115. St. Mary's at Texas Rio Grande. We can skip. It's not the St. Mary's that plays in the WCC. It's the Division II St. Mary's. ESPNU, Cincinnati, SMU. My projection is SMU 10.5. Meanwhile, it's SMU 5.5. I'm going to lay to 5.5 with SMU. Mount St. Mary's, St. Francis, Brooklyn. My projection is Mount St. Mary's by 12. Mount St. Mary's is favored by 2.5. I'm going to lay to 2.5 with Mount St. Mary's at minus 108. St. Francis, Pennsylvania at LIU. My projection for this game is St. Fran, Pennsylvania by 4.5. Meanwhile, it's LIU by 2.5. I'm taking St. Fran, PA plus 2.5 and plus 122 straight up. Next up, Tennessee Tech, Morehead State. My projection is Morehead 1.5. Meanwhile, Morehead's favored by 3.5, so I'm taking Tech plus the 3.5 at minus 102. Southeast Missouri State at Belmont. My projection is Belmont 31. Is Belmont 16.5. I'm going to lay to 16.5 at Belmont at minus 104. Wagner, Fairleigh Dickinson postponed. Same with St. Mary's, San Diego. 8 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, UNLV, Colorado State. My projection here is Colorado State 5.5. Meanwhile, Colorado State is favored in this game by 8.5. So I'm going to take UNLV plus the 8.5 at minus 114. Jacksonville State, Eastern Kentucky. My line is Eastern by 6. Eastern's favored by 4.5. So to go to the total 146.5. And I'm going to take the under 146.5 at minus 114. Idaho State, Northern Arizona. My projections, Northern Arizona by 2. They're favored by 1.5. Total's 132.5. I'm going to take under 132.5, but I don't feel good about it. 8:30, Murray State, Eastern Illinois. My projections, Murray by 5. And it is Murray by 3.5. Total 140.5. I'm going to take the over 140.5 in Murray State, Eastern Illinois. Montana State, Northern Colorado. My projection is Northern Colorado 6.5. You know, Northern Colorado is favored by 3.5. I'm going to lay to 3.5 with Northern Colorado. 8:30 ESPN BYU at number 1 Gonzaga. Gonzaga I project as a 5.5 point favorite. Gonzaga is favored by 17.5. I'm taking BYU plus the points at minus 115. 9 o'clock Big Ten Network, number 12 Illinois at Northwestern. My projection is Illinois 21. And it is Illinois 7.5. So I'm going to lay the 7.5 with Illinois at minus 112. Next up, you have Washington at Stanford on Fox Sports 1. Projection is Stanford 12.5. FanDuel has it at 9.5. So in the later 9.5 with Stanford against Washington. ESPN2, USC, Arizona. My projection is Zona 6. And Zona's favored by 3.5. I'm going to lay the 3.5 without Arizona against USC at minus 104. Tennessee Martin at Tennessee State. My projection is State by 8. And State's favored by 5.5. I'm going to lay to 5.5 with State at a very juiced minus 120. ESPNU, Portland, San Francisco. My projection is San Francisco 15.5. Meanwhile, San Francisco's favored by 17.5. So I'm going to take Portland plus the 17.5. Idaho and Southern Utah. My projection is Southern Utah by a whopping 27.5. Meanwhile, they're favored by 12.5. I'm going to lay to 12.5 at Southern Utah at minus 115. Washington State, Cal on the Pac-12 Network at 10 o'clock. My projection here is Wazoo 2. And it's Wazoo 1.5. Total's 129.5. I'm going to take the over 129.5 at minus 114. Nevada, San Diego State on CBS Sports Network. My projection is San Diego State by 12. It's 12.5. Total's 134.5. And I'm going to take the over 134.5 at minus 114. And last but not least, 10:30 ESPN, UCLA, Arizona State. My projection is the Bruins by 6. And the Bruins are only laying 1.5. This is the classic. Everyone's going to jump on Arizona State because they're a home underdog. I'm laying it with UCLA at minus 110. So UCLA minus 1.5 at minus 110 is the last pick of the show in terms of the main college basketball picks. Now I'm going to do my NHL left wing rankings. I was going to actually do all the wings combined, but I'm going to do the right wings tomorrow and do the left wings today, just to break things up a little bit. So, without further ado, here we go. 124, Alex Fermenton, Senators. 123, Jarrett Anderson Dolan, Kings. 122, Joel Kiviranta, Stars. 121, R2 Ristolainen, Sabres. 120, Sammy Blais, Blues. 119, Jesper Boquist, Devils. 118, Max Jones, Ducks. 117, Dryden Hurst, Coyotes. 116, Andrew Ladd, Islanders. 115, Joachim Nordstrom, Flames. 114, Zach Smith, Blackhawks. 113, Darren Helm, Red Wings. 112, Carl Gunstrom, Kings. 111, Eric Robinson, Blue Jackets. 110, Alexei Solera, Panthers. 109, Alexandre Teixeira, Blue Jackets. 108, Zach Anston Reese, Penguins. 107, William Carrier, Golden Knights. 106, Michael Del Calle, Islanders. 105, Sonny Milano, Ducks. 104, Brandon Lemieux, Rangers. 103, Max Camontes, Ducks. 102, Andrew Bjork, Bruins. 101, Tyler Mott, Canucks. 100, Artem Anisimov, Senators. 99, Milan Lucic, Flames. 98, Kyle Clifford, Kings. 97, Miles Wood, Devils. 96, Carl Hagelin, Capitals. 95, Jason Dickinson, Stars. 94, Jordan Martinook, Hurricanes. 93, Andrew Cogliano, Stars. 92, Nick Cousins, Predators. 91, Nicholas Roy, Golden Knights. 90, Matthias Janmark, Blackhawks. 89, Andrew Kopp, Jets. 88, Matt Nieto, Sharks. 87, Matt Calvert, Avalanche. 86, Marcus Sorensen, Sharks. 85, Barclay Goodrow, Lightning. 84, Tyson Yost, Avalanche. 83, Lawson Krause, Coyotes. 82, Jordan Greenway, Wild. 81, Connor Garland, Coyotes. 80, Andrew Macapane, Flames. 79, Antoine Russell, Canucks. 78, Nick Robertson, Maple Leafs. 77, Ryan Donato, Sharks. 76, Matthew Perreault, Jets. 75, Arturi Lehkonen, Canadiens. 74, Dominic Cahoon, Oilers. 73, Alexander Kerfoot, Maple Leafs. 72, Nick Ritchie, Bruins. 71, James Neal, Oilers. 70, Marcus Foligno, Wild. 69, Pat Maroon, Lightning. 68, Tyler Ennis, Oilers. 67, Callie Jarnkrok, Predators. 66, Richard Panik, Capitals. 65, Jared McCann, Penguins. 64, Paul Byron, Canadiens. 63, Frank Ferrando, Panthers. 62, Robbie Fabry, Red Wings. 61, Nino Niederreiter, Hurricanes. 60, Adrian Kempe, Kings. 59, Kirill Kaprizov, Wild. 58, Zach Sanford, Blues. 57, Jonathan Drouin, Canadiens. 56, Nick Foligno, Blue Jackets. 55, Warren Fogle, Hurricanes. 54, Andreas Johnson, Devils. 53, Ilya Mikheyev, Maple Leafs. 52, Tanner Pearson, Canucks. 51, JT Miller, Canucks. 50, James Van Riemsdyk, Flyers. 49, Anthony Beauvillier, Islanders. 48, Alex Galchenyuk, Senators. 47, Oscar Lindblom, Flyers. 46, Nikita Gusev, Devils. 45, Grigory Denisenko, Panthers. 44, Philip Zadina, Red Wings. 43, Joel Fabry, Flyers. 42, Alex Killorn, Lightning. 41, Zach Hyman, Maple Leafs. 40, Eli Tolvanen, Predators. 39, Brady Tkachuk, Senators. 38, Alexis Lafreniere, Rangers. 37, Jake DeBrusk, Bruins. 36, Victor Olofsson, Sabres. 35, Dominic Kubalak, Blackhawks. 34, Jacob Vrana, Capitals. 33, Andre Burakovsky, Avalanche. 32, Zach Parise, Wild. 31, Alex Afalo, Kings. 30, Andre Palat, Lightning. 29, Islanders, Anders Lee of the Islanders. 28, Tyler Bertuzzi, Red Wings. 27, Jason Zucker, Penguins. 26, Gustav Nyquist, Blue Jackets. 25, Nicholas Schmaltz, Coyotes. 24, Jonathan Marchessault, Golden Knights. 23, Chris Kreider, Rangers. 22, Jaden Schwartz, Blues. 21, Alex DeBrincat, Blackhawks. 20, Jeff Skinner, Sabres. 19, Ricard Raquel, Ducks. 18, Evander Kane, Sharks. 17, Nikolaj Ehlers, Jets. 16, Philip Forsberg, Predators. 15, Thomas Tatar, Canadiens. 14, Taylor Hall, Sabres. 13, Max Pacioretty, Golden Knights. 12, Gabriel Landeskog, Avalanche. 11, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Oilers. 10, Jamie Benn, Stars. 9, Brad Marchand, Bruins. 8, Kyle Connor, Jets. 7, Jake Gensel, Penguins. 6, Johnny Gaudreau, Flames. 5, Andrei Svechnikov, Hurricanes. 4, Jonathan Huberdeau, Panthers. 3, Claude Giroux, Flyers. 2, Artemi Panarin, New York Rangers. And number 1, Alexander Ovechkin, Washington Capitals. To me, Ovi's still the best left wing in the game until further notice. That guy is just a machine. And obviously Panarin and Giroux are great players as well. So, both of those guys, obviously, it's a toss-up for me for 2 versus 3, but Panarin was in the running for the Hart last year, so that's why he gets the spot ahead of Claude Giroux. Now I'm going to recap last night's episode of The Masked Dancer. It was the second episode. It was Group B that went. 5 contestants: Sloth, Ice Cube, Zebra, Cotton Candy, and Miss Moth. First went the Sloth. There was hints about a jungle, the gym, the treadmill. This person got into a bad accident. Hinted at a Mickey Mouse operation, Glee, a 13 cup, toothpaste, a doctor. And this person performed What I Like About You by the Romantics. There's a cup in there, and then there's a workout in terms of what was in the performance, in terms of clues. And Word Up was Broadway. My guess, Kevin McHale, who was in Glee. Paula Abdul also guessed a Glee star. She went with Matthew Morrison, who I almost picked. Brian Austin Green went with Kevin Farrelly. And Ashley Tisdale went with Jason Derulo, which would be a big get for the Masked franchise. Ice Cube. And no, spoiler alert, it wasn't Ice Cube. Cole, The Slippery Road, Money, The White House, Being Lonely. There is Point Shoes, which are literally ballet shoes with like a square on it. A TV, Science, and this person did a performance of Bad Romance by Lady Gaga, and there's ballroom dancing going on, there's a castle in the performance clue package, and Word Up was 90s Icon, and I settled on, because there were White House hints and other political hints, I went with Anderson Cooper of CNN, because there's also TV hints. And this person sounded older, so I went with Anderson Cooper. Ken Jeong went with Bill Nye, the Science Guy. Brian Austin Green went with Bill Martin. And Paul Abdul also went with Anderson Cooper. The Zebra. This is someone that's old school, hasn't been seen in a while. A Rough Neighborhood. Music, One Direction. Hot Dog. And then there's DEC 154128. I don't know what that means, but this person performed Magdalena by Sergio Mendes, and his word up was comeback. I settled on Joey McIntyre of New Kids on the Block. There are some hints towards New Kids on the Block in there. Joey Mac hasn't been seen in a while, so I'm going with Joey McIntyre of New Kids. Brian Austin Green went with Ricky Martin, and Ken Jeong went with Kevin Richardson of the Backstreet Boys. Cotton Candy. This is someone that's petite, someone that's a perfectionist. There was a hint about wizards, a new family, someone that was homesick. And this person, what I mean by a new family is that they moved in with the new family. And there was bird, and there was an exclamation point in the eye. And then there was something F, E, and E. Were all like separated out in a hint. And then there was an envelope that said to some very important people. And this contestant also fell down while rehearsing her performance. And this person performed Glitter in the Air by Pink. And that was absolutely a sensational performance. The best performance so far on The Masked Dancer for sure. And it was reminiscent of Pink's Grammy performance back in 2010. And this person's word up was Primetime. My guess for this contestant is Julianne Hough of Dancing with the Stars. Ashley Tisdale and Ken Jeong went with her as well. Obviously, Primetime is a big hint. And this is someone that's a dancer. Brian Austin Green went with Pink. And it could be Pink. There's that hint B and the I and the exclamation point, like how Pink has in her name, RD. And then this person pretty much did her Grammy performance back in 2010. And Paula threw out Jenna Dewan. Miss Moth. There's a closed box. There's hints about being involved with the president, the White House, out of view, a public out of view. There's math in there. There's a ladder, yellow leaves, thrives in spotlight. There's a cactus. And this person performed Boot Scoot and Boogie by Brooks and Dunn. And her word up was inspired. And the voice sounded very familiar. And because of there's hints being involved with the White House, being involved with the president, I'm going to go with the daughter of Donald Trump. And that is Ivanka Trump. Or one of the two daughters. There's Tiffany and Ivanka. I'm going to go with Ivanka Trump. But I hesitate a little bit because the voice sounded a little bit older. Paul Abdul went with Marla Maples, who was married to the president. So, could be Marla Maples. Ashley Tisdale went with Megyn Kelly, which was not a bad guess. And Brian Austin Green went with Monica Lewinsky, which is a pretty solid guess as well. But I'm going to go with Ivanka Trump. Although, part of me thinks that this could be somebody that's currently involved in the White House. Although Ivanka's involved, but like it's talking about somebody older that's involved in the politics world. And who went home? The Ice Cube. My final guess was Anderson Cooper because of the hints referring to TV in the White House. And then each of the panelists has to ask the contestant that is about to get unmasked a question. Brian's question was, has this person been on TV? He said yes. Ashley Tisdale's was social media following, huge. Ken Jeong, comedy. They said yes. And Paul asked if this person had a speck of white hair, and the person said maybe. Ashley's final guess was Al Gore, which would have been funny. Ken Jeong went with Bill Nye, the science guy. Paula Abdul went with Tim Dunn. And Brian went with Bill Murray. And who was it? Bill Nye, the science guy. Ken Jeong correct for the first time in his Masked Dancer panelist career. The first person to get a Masked Dancer correct this year. So good for Ken Jeong. And obviously we will preview next week's show with, I believe, the last 4 contestants of Group A. And then the following week will be the last 4 of Group B. And then they'll combine 3 weeks from yesterday's, when I think they'll combine into the Super 6 or whatever the Masked Dancer will call it. Now I'm going to do my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. There is one that absolutely stood out to me for tonight, and that pick is in college basketball, and I am going to roll with, was it in college basketball? The pick that I loved? Thought it was. Oh, he skipped a game. Sacred Heart Merrimack. But I'll just do this very quickly. Merrimack, I believe this is their first game. So yeah, I'd project Merrimack, by the way, as a 9.5 point favorite over Sacred Heart. I would have laid the 5.5 of Merrimack. I skipped that one completely. So I thought it was in college basketball that I really liked the game. I'll go to the NBA, and I don't feel great about it, but I'm going to lay points with the Sixers against Brooklyn. So give me Philadelphia -1.5 against Brooklyn as my best bet of the day. No Kevin Durant. And I think that even though they're on the second of a back-to-back, I think that they have enough to pull one out against Brooklyn. So that's it for today. I'll be back later tonight with my friend who will be coming on the podcast tonight. My first guest of 2021, and we will preview the hockey season, go through totals in terms of point total, over-unders on FanDuel, and some futures, and some other miscellaneous stuff, so that should be fun. And obviously tomorrow's show will be recapping college basketball and the NBA and looking ahead to the weekend's games, as well as picking the NFL wildcard round games. And I'm going to do my right-wing rankings for hockey as well as my best bet. And no more Fab 5 because obviously the playoff picks are the big picks. So I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.